All right, how's it going, everybody? This is just going to be a quick static video on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. If you guys want any other coins, added, if I ever do these static videos, because I've just been going live pretty much in the morning instead of static videos like I used to. But let me know in the comments. So looking at Bitcoin here, as we start out every show, you have to identify your your environment that you're trading in. The 4-hour is still in this, the same. I mean, this shoulder is a little bit bigger than this one, or this blue wave, whatever you want to call it. It's slight bigger, but we're still, even if you pull it out to this anchor wave, we still are making slightly lower level highs, or I'm sorry, lower highs in bearish momentum. But this isn't good. We talked about this all last night. So let's go to our 2-hour. Can see we have a little bit of red here. So, but still, we're not really seeing much. So let's keep going down our time frames. So this is our 1-hour. And then you can see if we zoom this out, this is the more short term. This is the hour chart. So it's going to get a little bit more insight to what's happening near term. It looks like we are forming a slightly higher high. But we'll see how this plays out. Let's go to our lower time frames. All right, you can definitely tell this is where this spike came from. So for me still, guys, it's still very hard to be optimistic on either side. There's still a lot of questions. You have that triple MACD bearish divergence on the bull and bear side. And right now, like here, you got a nice play off this, but we've only gone up. We haven't really gone up that much. And on our short-term time frames, you can kind of see here, this is our 15-minute. We have made highs, but the price really hasn't moved up, and we're already kind of making our next lower high. So the next thing we're going to look at is, before we get into the actual charts, let's look at our shorts and longs. All right. So once again, this kind of goes right. This is what we've been talking about this. You actually have a bar on the short pattern. This really goes into what we've been talking about. The only time we really get price increases are when shorts are just covering. It's the buying just seems to be just not that great. So let's go to our longs. Maybe it can prove me wrong. Let's check our longs. Pretty much identical here on the 15-minute. You can actually see the longs have actually sold off. Let's look at the shorts on the 1-hour. This was that long. This was the shorts. So what do I take from this? This was probably some of those people on that last run up we had, where we went up to like 10,007 real quick, 10,006. This could be some just people just getting out and taking profit. The volume has just extremely died off. And if they're reading or looking at the charts, the way we've been looking at them every day, especially last night, there's a lot of uncertainty what's going to happen next. The volume has just fallen off the face of the planet. It's extremely low. Even when you have bearish divergence and you go to the downside, you build bearish momentum, it's weak. Then you show bullish divergence, you pop to the upside again, then it's weak. It's just, we need volume to come in. As I said last night, I believe in the next 48 to 72 hours, we're going to have a nice move to one side. We're either going to be at 10.4, 10.5 at least, or 9,800 or worse. It's just a matter of when the volume's going to come in. I mean, this is your 5-minute. I mean, from a momentum, blue wave, MACD, whatever you use, it just looks very low right now. It's even when we get momentum in certain areas, there just isn't much of a push. You form a lower high, and you go to the other side, you form a lower high, you go back up here, you form another lower high. It's just this repeated, it's the same story over and over. We are still in our resistance box. It goes from 10.2 to 10,350. You can see that we actually wicked right off the top. I haven't touched this at all since last night. Wicked right off of our top. So that makes me feel really good about this box. But another thing I like about it as well is you can see we almost kind of came down and we wicked off of this. So maybe, fingers crossed, this can now be looked as a support line possibly at 10,002, 10,205. That's very possible. So Bitcoin's going to be, it's going to get a little tricky the next couple of days, guys. So please don't over leverage yourself. If you're going to scalp, get in, get out. But if you're looking for like a 300, 400, 500 plus move, it's rolling. It's literally a coin flip. Do you have heads or tails? I'm serious. That's really what this move's going to come down to. The 4-hour, you can kind of see on our EMAs, we're kind of going up. And now we're sitting above all of our lower time EMAs. And this is why I'm kind of capping. And I'm trying to cap my bullishness on this move. You have your resistance box. And then you have your EMAs, your 100 and 200. Literally just directly over it. There's going to be a ton of resistance from here to 10,600, 10,550. You have your technical resistances up here. And then not only that, but if I was to take my horizontal tool, I mean, I really don't like doing this because it can make it confusing to learn from a from a charting perspective. When you see all these lines, it's like, well, which line is it? I mean, honestly, there's just going to be a lot of resistance in this area. You can see our touch points in this box, our red box. This is our resistance box. And then now you have all these candle tops right across, right where our EMAs are. It's going to take a lot of buying power. You can see that we kind of broke above it here. We had a reaction back down. The market cooled down. And look at this. This is the EMA 100 I'm talking about. Look how it was acting as resistance. We made our rounded top and then Bart Simpson's to the downside. So I'm really trying to cap my bullishness now. You have to control. You really got to take control of the FOMO right now. And this is the time that, the trader's mentality really has to come in. And you have to show patience. I know it might suck if we go and bust a 10.7. You're like, well, why did I not buy now? Well, it's going to feel much worse if we get really bullish and we bust it to 9,008, into this, our support box, and then actually finally break it. And we're hoping to break even, So be patient. Maybe we're going to be streaming earlier tonight. Maybe we'll get some more answers tonight. Maybe the charts, maybe we can move some stuff around. Maybe we get some volume by then. Who knows? But right now, I'm just being honest, guys. I would scalp Bitcoin for sure. If you're just going to scalp it, go ahead and do it. The aggro cap indicator, your market cipher, it's going to be great for it. And you can see even on the aggro cap 3-hour, it's right at this 10,450. It's right under our EMA. So it's all kind of coinciding with each other. Even if after you break this resistance box, your EMAs are just sitting right ahead. And you can obviously tell that they acted as resistance over here. So just be careful. I'm neutral. I'm holding Bitcoin because I physically have to. But this is a move. I don't really care if we shoot up to 10,800. I'm holding Bitcoin. So I'm going to eat the gains anyway. I'm going to absorb them. I guess they won't be leveraged gains, but guys, this is a market. This market never shuts down. So what I mean by that is there's always going to be opportunities to make money. It's going to be safer to wait until we break above 10,600, 10,650, and then start along rather than rolling the dice quite literally and buying down here. So, just proceed with caution. we still have our support box at 9,800 to 10,000. And then, I mean, you have your 10,002 to 10,350. You can see how we respect it beautifully up here. That's your resistance box. But once again, I put these EMAs up here. They're just sitting right above it. So there's not really much. The reward for trying to long here isn't as great. So, but man, if we can bust above all of our moving averages and then kind of come back up here, bounce above and go to the upside, this would be a very nice play. If I'm trying to long this, I want to see us close a 4-hour candle above 10,600, 10,650. That is the lowest risk long right now. I'm not talking about scalping. Scalping's different. But if you're trying to long this, from my perspective, waiting for 10,006, 10,650, you'll be above all your moving averages. More so if you can come over here and bounce on top of them as support, that's going to be our indicator to long. So let's check out ETH. So ETH, we're still holding our support level. We're sitting at a price at $186. You are going to have support at $80. Actually, this must. Oh yeah, it's because we're on Bybit right now. I'll just get this line there real quick. Turn this green. I apologize, guys. I really like to have these done, but you know, these charts made out before I start. But you're going to have support here at about $175. $176 with your $180 support. We've kind of been bouncing off 180 quite a few times on prior dips this year. You know, if we break that 180, 175 support area, the next place I'm really going to be looking for is about $160 for support. Oh, I'm sorry, $170. You know what? Let me move these EMAs off here. It's kind of making it hard to see. And the way you can look at support levels now that we're above, guys, you want to see if you can find coinciding like these candle tops. If you can find, see like this right here. This is a great one. This is what I was talking about. I don't like making my charts like this because it can get confusing seeing all these lines. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the Charlotte web patterns. But use your tool and you can see this. If we zoom in here, you have your touch points across the top. You have some touch points across the top. You have some more across the top. It was support here, resistance here. I mean, do you get the you know the gist? I mean, that's how you come up with supports. Because when you break support, it becomes resistance. When you break resistance and you can, you know, have some time above, it theoretically becomes support. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to do this just because it makes it easier for you guys. And it's just nicer looking, to be honest, for me. I'm going to do a rectangle box here. Okay. Fix this up a little bit. 170. There you go. So, you know, kind of like Bitcoin, we're at 9,800 to 10,000. 170 to 180 I would definitely, this is going to be our support where we can bounce off. It's that same line we just looked at. This makes it, guys, because, I mean, if you've watched my channel, you know, I'm not a fan of just having all these random lines all over the screen. It gets very confusing. It's hard for me to teach people, especially if you're in the learning phase. So, yeah, making sure we're good. It's been a minute since I've made a static video, so I'm so famous for starting these videos, and I'll be on the screen starting, and it's like, oh, I got to start over. So, but if we break this 170 to 180 support range, the next area I'm going to be looking for is 160. Your resistance levels are going to be at about $200. More short term, though, you got to get past 190. We've struggled at about $190 for a while now, or for the last couple days. It's our more short term. Once again, the way you can come up with this, we zoom into our chart. I'm just going to use this line, but I'm going to immediately delete it. You can see how we have these touch points here, our cluster of touch points here. They all kind of touch right on the top. You have a crazy wick, but if you have a wick and go immediately down, that doesn't disregard it. You're just looking to see where you have the most consistent touch points, and you can see them here. So this would be our 190. So you're going to have your more short-term resistance is 190. Your next one is your $200 resistance. And honestly, I'd like to put a red box because we've been looking at this for a while now, and I just know it off the top of my head. But 200 to 205, I can promise you, is going to be a prime area for a reversal back to the downside. I just know this because I've been analyzing ETH for weeks now. That was a very strong support zone for a long time. So, and you can see where we have our touch points on the bottom of this box, and you can see where we have our touch points off the top of our box. So you can see we have them on the bottom and then across the top as well. Now, you break above 205, what are we going to be looking at? The next area I'm really going to be eyeing. It's so funny how I remember all these. 215. If you can break above 215 after you break above 205, that 205 resistance, I'll be looking at 215. And then after that, the next area we'll be eyeing it was actually our old trade setup weeks ago, it just never came, which was 235. It's that 230 to 235 resistance. Because remember, if we break above 235, we should have a nice fill to it, maybe into the 250s, 260s. So, and once again, I apologize for not having these charts done. It's, just because I know it for sure. All right. So just to reiterate real quick, you have nice support between 270 and 280. Your first area of resistance is going to be 190. Your more major resistance is going to be 205 or 200 to 205. With your next target being 215, and then after that, I think we could at least go to 225. But to test our resistance box here, between 230 and 235. So we're going to sum up real quick on XRP. Wow, hasn't done anything. So you can see XRP, we've been bouncing off of our bottom support, off the bottom part of our box here, which that's about 25.5 cents. Let's just call it 26 cents to be safe. But we've just haven't really been doing anything. I don't really want to call it bearish consolidation, but it really kind of feels like it. We've had a major downturn. The buyers have not been able to push the price up. If we look at market cipher, you can see we had falling bullish momentum, more so here, but you could totally bring this over for 3 lower highs. We had a nice push to the downside. And if you look here on the 4-hour, we're starting to form some red here in the corner. So let's go to our closer time frame. Jeez, yeah, just XRP just doesn't look good. I'm not trying to sound overly bearish on it, but I would not be trying to catch this falling knife right now. So yeah, I'm pretty bearish on XRP. We are showing building bearish momentum on all the time frames. And honestly, this 28 cents to 30 cent box is going to be massive. When I'm talking about, I mean extremely insane resistance. This box, I'm telling you, it's just because it was added on Bybit in May. This box goes back 6 months, really, where we just were bouncing off 28 cent support. 28 cents every time we had nice reactions to the upside. This box here is going to be no joke. Now, if we can close a daily over 30 cents, then yeah, I'll start getting bullish on XRP. But I am not touching it until I'm not touching XRP within a 10-foot pole until we break. I'm telling you, I want to see a daily close over 30 cents. I want to make sure we're not getting faked out. This box is going to be insane. And you are in a crazy tight trading range. And I know this just because we were looking at it on the Bitfinex chart a couple days ago. But if you do break this 24 cent, it's basically your last line of support. It's like 24.5 cents. You're going to go down to 19-20 cents. But this actually this is maybe what could help save XRP. I want to see how this curves out. Maybe we could form a trigger wave here on the daily. That would be very interesting. The daily is really the only time frame that looks like there is some hope for XRP. You're massively in the red right now. So if you had a trigger wave, you're this in the red, you could have a nice little pump to the upside. Very possible. But you can see here, I I definitely would not, not financial advice, but I am not touching XRP. I know they have a, a huge community. Maybe they can, get together and try to save it. But right now, I'm definitely not touching it. Definitely not touching XRP. But just to reiterate, you're going to have decent support between 25 and about, 26.5 cents with, just absolutely major critical resistance at 28 cents to 30. In this area, I can pretty much tell you, I don't think we're going to break this in one quick swoop. This is going to take months. Generally, when you break under 28 cents, XRP takes at least 3 to 5 months to get back above it. So, just keep that in mind. So, that's going to just about do it for today. I got to go take care of my dogs. But we're gonna have a much earlier stream tonight. I'd like to get at least a 4-hour, 5-hour stream in tonight. So my goal is 6 p.m. Eastern time. But I will, if you're on our Discord, which if you're not already, I highly recommend you join it. We have a lot of amazing people, a lot of great traders. The community is growing massively. We're all about supporting you. We have TA sections where if you want to post your charts, we got a place for you. If you want to, you do a grade on a trade, post your profit logs. We'll support you. I'm going to start our educational series here soon. We're doing some Streamlabs updates, to give you guys better, not just content, but, a visual aspect of the stream. And there's just there's a ton of behind the scenes stuff going on right now. So even when we're not live, we are working to provide you guys better content. So once again, thank you all for watching the static video. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit. I try to keep these under 15 minutes. I'm probably well over that now. But a lot of these I kind of had to eye on the spot. I guess we've been so concentrated on Bitcoin lately. I guess we don't. XRP was pretty easy, but ever since we left the Binance charts, I guess I haven't updated the Bybit ones for ETH. So that's going to just about do it. I will see you on Discord. I will let you know the official start date, but my goal is 6 p.m. Eastern time. And, I'll see you in the Discord. Thank you, guys.